I'm Imke Hattingh. I'm a learner in grade 7 from Laerskool Linwood. My theme is, every cloud has a silver lining. Every cloud has a silver lining, but it is sometimes a little difficult to take it to the mint. Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, these are the rather wise but witty words of the American humorist and journalist John Marquis. And I agree, it may very well be true that there is a positive experience extracted from every negative experience. But doing that might be a little more difficult than we think. In the end, it's a matter of finding the balance. Let's look at a couple of examples to highlight my point. Let's see. Most of you have felt the disappointment of having fallen out of love with your sweetheart. The resultant dark cloud that comes with it is all too well known to the people around you, until one of them shows you that silver lining. Depending on what you want in life, that silver lining could be anything. When feeling and reality meet, from being shown that the person you were back then wasn't really all that great after all, or it could be the realization that you are now free to devote your time and energy for yourself. This is not always easy to see this while mending a broken heart, but once you see that silver lining, the dark cloud that comes with it suddenly disappears. I refer to you in the above mentioned comment. Why? Isn't it obvious? I am far too young to have experienced such a devastating, life-changing event, and yet I am capable to imagine how it must feel. This is obvious, even to me. In the book I Ching Wisdom by Wu Wei, I read that the situation only becomes favorable once you adapt to it. This seems logical, but we seldom do it. Instead, we choose to cry over spilled milk. We often choose to look only at the dark cloud, which could very easily lead to a situation commonly known as depression. But history shows us that it's quite possible to make the best of even the worst situations. Here I wish to introduce you to a young American girl named Helen Keller, who was blind and deaf. You can imagine the challenges a person who cannot see or hear faces just to get around. Yet, Helen, with the help of her teacher and civilian, insisted that the silver lining on her dark cloud was that she was alive. She was the first deaf-blind person who earned a Bachelor Arts degree. I know, right? Go ahead, say it. Wow! The story of how Keller's teacher broke through the insulation imposed by complete lack of language, allowing the girl to blossom as she learned to communicate, has become widely known through the dramatic depictions of the play, the film The Miracle Worker. A prolific author, Keller was well-travelled and was outspoken to opposition to war, a member of the socialist parties and the Wobblies. She campaigned for women's rights, workers' suffrage, as well as many other left-eye causes. So she balanced her own suffering of that of other people around the world, and through it found a silver lining that made her force to be reckoned with, despite her physical challenges. You see, ladies and gentlemen, the situation only becomes favorable once you adapt to it, once you find that balance. There are hundreds, indeed thousands of stories like her, of people who found themselves against impossible odds and still decided to make something of themselves. And with that, I leave you with the urge to think next time of Helen Keller you feel like throwing a towel over something insignificant. Find the balance, look for the silver lining, and take it to the mint.